Përshëndetje motra.
Mirë se keni ardhur në Trime podcast.
I'm Lejla.
I'm Leonarda.
Welcome home.
So we've got an exciting guest on the podcast, which actually we've been kind of fangirling for a long time. When Lejla was like, "Oh my god, she follows us! She follows us!"
I literally I saw the teasers on TikTok and I was like, hang on, I've seen her on TikTok so many times. Then I went to find you on Instagram and you were already following me and I was like, oh my God. I instantly messaged Leo and I was like, she already follows us. Should I message her?
Hi girls, thank you so much for having me. I'm also such a fangirl of the show. I'm Bardha from Love is Blind Season 2, aka Bardha, for everyone else that...
We actually get to pronounce it properly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Bardha.
Bardha. I know, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, we're just going to go straight into it. Because not only have you, genuinely become, the nation's sweetheart. Everybody loves you. People tag us in videos of you on TikTok.
Aww.
And they're like, you need to get her on the pod. And we're like, mwah.
Yeah.
We're already cooking it up behind the scenes. But I think one of the things that is always the most interesting to me is how much people in the West struggle to say our names. And every time I hear it, I'm like, it's Bardha. But I saw on your Insta that someone had asked you, why do you just let people call you Bardha? And your response was so real. It's because it's just sometimes too exhausting to explain it over and over and over again. And I was like, I can't wait till she comes on the pod and we can actually just say her name properly.
No, exactly. And I loved when I saw the promo of Love is Blind Season 2 and he said Bardha, I was like, I love that for her. I just love that for her because I was like, everyone's going to know. All the Albanians are going to be like, that's Bardha, but it's going to create all this commotion. I was like, she knew exactly what she was doing, and I loved it for you.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually a huge reason that it took me a while to actually say yes to the experiment, and that being one of the main reasons, because I just knew there would be so much backlash. As you girls know, dating isn't the easiest topic in our culture, and even at my age, I'm 33 now, it's still quite a taboo subject, and I just knew it wasn't going to come across very well to the male population. But the women have been so incredible. Everyone's just like, wow, we're so supportive, you come across amazing, thank you for representing us, and it's all worth it for me. It's been so nice.
I know, absolutely. And that's exactly what we found when we started the pod. The support was overwhelmingly positive from the women in our community. We always expected the backlash. And like you said, I did expect the backlash. I knew what was coming. But we don't do it for the backlash. We do it for the women who feel like they've not had a voice. Maybe they feel like they've never been represented on TV. We've got a Kosovan Albanian woman on Netflix, for God's sake. Are you mad?
It's a proud moment for us. It's because you feel like that is my people's on TV. And it's so relatable and you just feel so proud. So the backlash is, we always laugh about the backlash. All the comments, it's our little internal comedy show. We laugh about it and we move on because it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And this is the thing, it's such a huge intersection, isn't it, when you're growing up British Albanian, or I think for most Albanians in the diaspora, wherever they grow up, there's this intersection of living in the West, but also we hold so tightly to our traditions in this capsule culture, and growing up Albanian in the UK can feel like you are carrying two identities. So how has that experience shaped the way you see yourself and even the choices you've made in your life?
I think for me, it's been quite a positive thing having two sort of backgrounds. So I was born in Kosovo, moved to the UK from the age of 5 at the best of my memories. However, I was schooled in the UK, so my education is here. I didn't learn how to read and write Albanian, but I speak it and read it fluently. Also, growing up in a Kosovan household, you get, I'm sure you ladies can relate to this. You've got to do your, the girls' duties in the house, the cooking, the cleaning. Yeah, it was mad. Like every time guests came over, like that was embedded in me from like a really, really young age. And I think I got to the age of 19 and I was like, I need to step out of this. So I actually moved out of home when I was 19. And I just wanted to experience more the life that I knew. The school that I went to was obviously a lot more westernized. The jobs that I had were all really independent, mainly English people. And I just sort of wanted to experience that, but I never forgot, what my mum taught me. I never forgot the values that we have as Kosovans. I'm really proud of those. And I'm really thankful that I kind of have the best of both worlds. And I think having two identities has helped me pick the best things of both cultures and kind of make it my own. Because, when I go back to Kosovo, I'm an outsider. When I'm here, I'm foreign. So
it's so hard because a lot of the times you feel like you don't belong anywhere. Like I even posted like a video on TikTok saying like, I'm too Western for home, but too foreign for here to be in England.
Exactly.
And it's like this crazy... I don't know, like I find myself almost sometimes feeling like I don't fit anywhere. I don't belong anywhere. And it wasn't until like we started the pod that I just felt like a complete alien. Yeah, isolated, like a complete alien. Like there was no space for women like us.
Yeah, it is really difficult because if you try and adapt to one more than the other, then whatever the opposite side is doesn't accept you anymore.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to make your own space.
Absolutely. And even when you do, like, I've found, like, we don't speak, that we don't speak ship on the pod. Well, we do sometimes, but the majority,
it's just
the most of it is in English, and we get so much slack for it. Like, we get so much backlash. Why are you not speaking? Why don't you speak Albanian? Why don't you speak Albanian? And the reality is this is a prime example. There are so many kids that grew up in the diaspora, either just before the war or after the war, and like communism in Albania and things like that, that a lot of them didn't learn how to read and write in Ship. We mostly all speak English, and even back home, a lot of them speak English too.
Yeah.
Well, they're educated from a really young age to speak English. And it's so important to understand that just because we're not here speaking Ship 24/7, that we haven't lost those parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
And like you said just before we started recording, like I can speak fluently, so can we.
Yeah.
We speak fluently, but I think it's really important not to bow down to the pressure, not to give in to the pressure. Just because someone thinks, what do you think, you're more Albanian than me? Do you know what I mean? Like just because you have these other, you speak Ship 24/7, you're more Albanian. No, not at all. Like we we have this intersection of our identities, and that's the reality.
Exactly. But also there's many Albanian communities within the Albanian communities. You've got the Albanian communities in Macedonia, in Montenegro, in Turkey, in Serbia. You've got all of these. They speak completely different. We speak a Gag dialect. There's a Tosk dialect.
Considering like the only accents I've been around are Kosovans. Like my family, my parents, my friends, most of them are like relatives or cousins. So I haven't spent much time with Albanians from the south or even the north, and sometimes it is more difficult to understand. And I do find myself just saying, it's a lot easier to just speak in English, because I also, like, someone asked me, like, when did you start thinking in English? I can't remember. I was a kid, and it just became like really easy for me.
And so I don't know if anyone's ever asked you these. I think these questions are so silly, and they're like, what language do you think in? And I'm like, what a silly question. I think in both all the time, all day, every day.
Same.
I think in both because that's who I am. I'm not this one-dimensional being. Like we're especially as women, like we're multi-dimensional beings, and it's really important that that's accepted now. Like enough of saying like, oh, in particular women in our community, we're only here to be subservient to men and, to get married and have children. Those times, those days are done.
Gone.
Yeah, they're gone, right? They're gone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bardha, you've built a whole career in an industry where actually Albanian women aren't often visible.
No women are very visible in our career,
and what does that mean to you, building that career and being successful in it? And also, what has it taught you and how has it impacted your life?
I think, so I actually didn't choose the industry that I was in at all. I kind of fell into it. I've always really loved cars. So I've always worked not worked with them, but I started probably when I was about 23. And it is a very male-dominated industry. And I just found the more sexism I received, the more I was like, no, I will not be just another statistic. Like, I will push against that. I will, ever since I left home as well, it was difficult to carry myself and continue to make my parents proud, because it wasn't a good thing that I'd moved out at all. So I was like, especially in my career, I'm going to push and I'm going to achieve greatness all on my own. And I think that drive, I didn't let anything get in my way. And I was just like, I will achieve it. I've got a decent, head on my shoulders. I'm capable of so much more than I even believe. And I just pushed through, and anything that sort of stood in my way, I would always overcome. I always maintained professionalism at work. And I think that really helped me, because the people that I was working with knew that they couldn't mess with me. I was kind of more like the hardcore boss. And for me, it worked that way, because my grit and my, pushing myself every day, I ended up being in, positions of high power for that reason, because I can also detach my feelings from my work. And if something needs to get done, I've got bills to pay. I only look after myself. No one's going to save me.
Yeah.
No one's going to be here and pay my bills, and no one's going to literally take care of me.
Yeah.
Or provide for me. No one's going to do that. I've always had to do that on my own. And I feel like I'm really proud of everything that I've achieved in my career.
Oh, we're really proud of you.
When I was watching Love's Blind and the ending of the season, and I've been following your Insta and your stories and stuff, and a lot of the questions you were getting was did you say no to Jed because he's a provider and things like that? And I think there's this huge misconception that independent women don't want to be looked after, and they don't want to be cared for. And I have this belief, I'm a feminist, I'm a hardcore feminist. I think everybody knows that about me now, right? And I still believe that if it's a heterosexual relationship, that yes, the man should be providing financially.
I agree.
And I believe that the woman should have her own money,
but
that the man should be the one who's providing financially in the relationship.
Yeah. So obviously I've had this question quite a lot. And can I just say, please, can someone find a clip where Jed says that he wants to provide for me?
Yes, but he wanted to pay for dinner.
He wanted to pay for one dinner. He wanted to pay for one meal.
Yeah.
And at that, only to impress his friends. Come on, guys. Read between the lines.
Yeah.
You all saw the same show as me.
Yeah.
He literally says, I wanted to do it because they're my friends. I wanted to impress. And it's you wanted to pay for one dinner, and now the whole world believes that you wanted to provide. You never told me you wanted to provide. You've never tried to provide. I actually spent a lot more money in that relationship than you did. I've never held that against you, and I'm not trying to do that now. I'm just trying to get people to understand that, one scene was, for dramatic effect. This is a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm not, blind to that. This is very much a TV show, and he has taken it out of context. Although he has said a couple of times, it wasn't about the bill. My answer was never about the bill. It was about something completely different.
Yeah.
It was about stuff that happened off camera. And to hang on to this whole bill situation, I need to draw a line underneath that here. It's got nothing to do with that. He never wanted to provide. He never tried to. And this whole thing that, I've let go of a man who wants to be a provider and take care of me, and I don't want to be. Please, if there is someone, I don't know which camera to look into. If there is someone out there, please reach out and look after me. Please.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks.
I can't stress enough how much I would love that.
Send your CV to our email.
And the thing is, it's it's this notion of as a feminist, right, we're taught a lot of times we're trying to gain equality between men and women. I'm not that kind of feminist that you're going to see that through rose-tinted glasses. That kind of equality cannot exist between men and women for as long as we live in a patriarchy and violent misogyny. Agreed. Right? And I teach my daughter the difference between equality and equity. So my daughter knows, do not bring a broke man to my door. She knows that.
I love that.
She knows that. She's 11 and she knows that. Like, because I genuinely, I will not die knowing that my daughter is the one putting her hands in the pocket when we live in this violent, misogynistic, patriarchal.
Yeah.
It's not even just our culture, it's the world. That's just how it is. And that notion, it's interesting you're talking about how he never actually said he wanted to provide long term. So that goes to show,
I don't know if he said it to the cameras, but he never said it to me.
And the thing is, it's not even, it's what I'm going to say is not even about him personally, but it's the perception that the world has of men, right? That they will immediately go to their defense.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And you're the problem.
Yeah.
And now you're like, but he never actually said he wanted to provide.
But even if we switch it around and if I was like, I'm here to find a provider, I'd be thrown to the trenches.
Absolutely. They'd eaten you alive. Yeah.
You can't win.
Yeah.
Like, and I said in a previous podcast that I did with Netflix, it was never about that at all. Like, I can't win. I would love somebody to provide for me, but it's never an expectation because luckily for me, I've worked hard enough to be in this position. Not that I want to put my hands, of course, if I want to treat my partner, I definitely will. That's the kind of person I am. I won't look at the money aspect of it. In this occasion, and you guys know this is a Kosovan thing, like when it's your birthday in Kosovo, you pay for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? And it's that kind of thing. And I was also meeting his friends for the first time. All of our dates in the pods was him saying he dated girls who were yes girls. He had to provide for them completely. How he didn't want that anymore.
Oh, so he actually said that, he gave you the different impression,
So all of our dates were like, we're going to be this power couple. We're going to build together. We're literally going to thrive. Like, I'm so grateful that you're so driven and you're so passionate. We're going to, oh my God, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to start our lives together so we can achieve this. And none of that happened. None of that happened. And I basically wanted to pay for that one bill because we were meeting his friends. And he said his friends would always, cuss him out for being a provider for all these girls that didn't have ambition. So I was like, let me also show your friends I'm different.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it was. Had nothing to do with me trying to emasculate him in any, like... If that's my partner,
but you can only emasculate a man who already has that insecurity in him.
Right.
Exactly.
You because actually someone...
I may as well stop there.
Yeah, right. You can, but I believe that, like, about any man. Yeah. Like, Leo knows her husband, I say to him all the time, like, you make me hate men even more because of how much of a good, decent human being you are. Like, it's proof of exactly how men should be, how they should behave around women, how they should treat their wives, their partners. And that whole notion of you, like, because he wanted to pay for the whole, I just think it's so nonsense. Like, it's very clear that you are a very ambitious woman with your own money, your own career. I don't think that ever was I never ever once got that perception from you watching the show.
No, neither did I.
There was very little talk about that on screen because it wasn't an issue for us. Like, I didn't feel that it was an issue. He never raised that issue with me if it was for him. And I think, like I said, I could have gone either way and I still would have been dragged because if I had come on here and said, pay for everything, look after me, I am a feminine woman, which is what the internet is telling me to be right now in the comments. They're like, you're not feminine, you're controlling. And I'm like, no, I want to always have that control of my life so that if need be, I can walk away
whenever you need to. Exactly. And you obviously did as well. So at the end, when you did say no at the altar, I had like goosebumps because immediately for me it was like, this girl she's got her shit together. Like, she has got the wherewithal, she's got the maturity, she knows when it's the right time to walk away. So I wanted to know how much of your past dating experience led up to you saying no. So it wasn't, I don't think things happen in a vacuum. I don't think it was just Jed. I always believe like it's also the past that shapes who you are up until that moment of saying no.
I think I'd be lying if I said no, because you learn something from every relationship that you're in. And I think for me, I learned to see the signs. I learned to see the alarm bells, listen to those alarm bells. And obviously something didn't sit right with me. And I was like, I had to make a decision in that moment, do I say yes, get legally married to make everyone happy and know that this is probably not going to last because the signs that I've seen show me something that I don't want in a marriage. And it was that simple. And all in all, I put myself first, and I have no regrets doing that, and I'll do it again.
Since the episodes have aired and the reunion has aired, and because you're a Kosovan Albanian, was the response what you thought it was going to be, or were you completely surprised by the response?
I obviously expected some good and some bad. I knew my answer would send people sort of crazy because I was so aware that nothing bad happened on camera. And I think when the type of audiences that watch reality TV are like, well, it's on there, I've seen everything, and it's like, you've seen, and I think it's probably like 15 to 17 minutes per episode out of like, 6 weeks. So you're seeing very, very little of what's going on. And I was very aware that on camera, everything just looks great. And it genuinely was. The backlash that I've gotten, I think, has been probably a bit more extreme than I expected. But I knew what I signed up for. So all I can do is continue to stand by what I've done, which I do, and stand strong, which I am. So,
and use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
No.
What am I going to do? What am I going to solve? Like, I said this on the show a lot. I can't remember if any of this is on, but I'm not a dweller. I feel like it's really like wasteful to be, and I know people deal with things differently, but I don't dwell. I gather myself and I move on. That's how I've lived my life always. And that's also the result of, me saying no. I gathered myself, and 3 days later, I was on a plane to a different country. I made, after the wedding as well, everyone's like, why did you so badly want to work on things? I wanted to work on things because I thought, the different side to him that I saw before the wedding was due to the pressure. And, we all deal with pressure differently. And I was like, he's acted out of character because obviously there's time constraints. You've got to get your wedding suit and everything, and it's a lot. Yeah. So I was like, this obviously isn't him. So I was like, I'm going to do everything I can because I love this man. Yeah. I am invested in this man to the point where I was going to say yes, literally in that moment. Yeah. And, I gave it a few weeks, and I saw a lot more of the red flags than the good stuff that we had. And I was like, okay, I made the right decision. I don't know if you guys have seen the reunion. But that whole ring situation did it for me. And I was just like, I'm trying. Naturally, you feel guilt because I've just hurt someone I love on TV. It wasn't because I wanted to hurt him and then see if it works out. No, I still want to marry you eventually. I still want to do all the things we talked about, have a family. But that includes 2 people working at it.
Not one.
And also, everyone's behaviour is a choice. And leads to what I'm going to ask you next, is because the thing that had the biggest impact on me was the scenes with your parents. Now, we know, like, in our community, the reception we get from our parents when we date and marry outside of the culture. When I saw that, in particular, the restaurant scene, it had such a huge impact on me because it was like further proof that how we behave as humans is all a choice. The way that your parents were just so happy and they were so proud of you, and the and that made me like, I'm not ashamed to say, like, I cried because I was like, I wish I had that. And I wish that for all Albanian girls, especially for those of us who are absolutely terrified of going outside of the lines and the rules. And I want to know how much your parents have had an influence in your life. And was it always like that? And, throughout your childhood, were they always really easy to talk to? Were they always like, we support you in anything you do?
That makes me really happy that touched you guys. Like, for me, that was a really important moment as well with my parents. Obviously, you saw me talk about my mum and her battle with cancer as well. And having her there meant all the more because I would never want to get married without my mum there. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to get married because my mum's still here, and God forbid if anything happens, she might not be, and we'd miss out. So it was, for me, like, really, like, heartwarming to see both of my parents be so supportive. I think my dad was more like, "Guten Maschweit," like, hurry up.
Yeah, you're 30 now, go on.
Yeah. It was literally, I actually didn't tell my dad at all about me going on. Because I was like, I might not find someone.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood? There's 15 people.
Yeah.
If I go into a bar and there's 15 people, they're probably not going to be my husband.
Yeah.
You know? So when we came out the pods, I told Jed, I was like, oh my God, I'm a bit nervous. I've got to tell my dad. But I've got, my relationship now with my parents is very different to what it was growing up. It was really sort of regimented. You know, I've got 2 brothers, twins. They were allowed to do whatever they wanted. Go wherever they want, come back whenever they wanted. And I didn't. I had a lot of, boundaries in place from my parents. I wasn't allowed to, do regular stuff that my friends did. I couldn't go to the cinema on the weekend or everyone's talking about the new movie they saw and I'm just like, I read another book. And I think also for them, it was scary and hard to navigate us being in a different country because they were so used to being raised in Kosovo and how things are done there. And naturally, they try to keep all of those things here and try to enforce those things. And I think it wasn't until I moved out that my relationship changed with my parents. And it just got to a point where, everything became... do you know what I mean? You have to, there were so many constraints and how I could live, and I appreciate now that they didn't know better. And I think at the time I was mad at them because I was like, but all my friends are going out and all my friends are allowed to date. How can you not let me date up until the age of 25 and then expect me to pop up with 3 kids?
Get married straight away. Yeah.
So, after moving out, there was a big distance between me and my parents. They couldn't understand. They were like, you have, food on the table, a warm bed and clean sheets. And why do you want to leave us? It's not normal. And, in our culture, you live with your father usually and then your husband and there's no in between. And I was just like, I need you to respect, what I'm doing. I'm doing what I feel is best. And I think this is going to help me grow in the long run. And I think the first time my mum said, she kept my room the same for 6 years. She never ever changed it.
Because
your mum is so cute. Bless her.
And I felt awful every time I'd go over. She'd bring me 3 tepsi of different pita.
So
I could eat for 2 weeks straight. And I was just like, Mum, I'm trying to lose weight. Every time I come here, you feed me. But yeah, she kept it like that for so long. And I think I had moved into this brand new flat. And it was my first fancy flat. It wasn't even fancy. It was just modern. Just wasn't a shit.
But it was yours as well. And you got to make your own rules and have that taste of freedom. Because
I was mainly house sharing and stuff. And she came over and she was just like, I can't believe you've done this and on your own without us. And I think Kosovans also have that, I don't want to speak for everybody, but from the people I grew up around, they have this mentality that you have to be grateful to others for what you have and never just be proud of you. So my mum was just like, I'm so proud of you. And then I bought a flat and then I did really well at work and me and my brothers, we helped my family financially. And now when I hear my dad speak, they just came back yesterday from Kosovo. And my dad was like, am I kepo bardhen? Showing everyone.
Oh, that's so sweet. Cute. It's funny you're talking about, building that sense of independence for yourself and not having to rely on anyone. Because I've had to do that I moved out when I was 18, university. I've said it so many times on here, university was I ran for the hills. I escaped as fast as I possibly could. There was nothing my parents could have done to keep me in a university in London. Absolutely not. I wanted to move out and I needed to do it then and there. And it was the best thing I ever did because I learned to stand on my own 2 feet. I learned how to make my own money. I learned how to be quote unquote self-made, right? Now no one can take anything from me because it's all mine. Even what we've built here with the pod, we've done this ourselves. No one can take that from us.
And you should both be so proud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From a fan girl.
Thank you. Thank you. And I say all that to say that I've had a very similar journey with my mum. It's been very complicated, but now we're at a point where she's really proud and she always says, I want to produce bona marak. We were talking recently. We were talking recently about something and I said, Mum, per mu mos u bë marak, unë And she was like, Edi chikayame, Edi. And because she knows, like, she knows me now, and it has been through a lot of trial and error, a lot of boundaries being put down from my end, and it's been really hard for her to accept those boundaries and to understand them. It's like, I'm 36. It's been a long road, to get. Thanks, girl.
Damn.
Did you hear that?
Damn, drop that skincare routine.
It's called Botox. I don't lie. I'd get lip fillers too if I wasn't so scared of the pain. But my point is that it's taken us a really long time to get to this point where my mum, even when like I came out, and she didn't, I mean, like, you know, like she did not like it at all. She went back home for 2 months, was absolutely devastated. She, you know, like we didn't speak for quite a while, but I was at a point in my life, I was like, but this is who I am.
I choose me.
I choose me. I choose my happiness.
100%.
And I know that none of this is harming you. Like, if you're all alive and standing from when I'm married and outside the culture and had a child with this man, you're all going to be okay,
Just
me being a lesbian. You're all going to survive. Do you know what I mean? But you have to be, I think, like, have to have a certain mentality and a certain type of head on your shoulders, because it's really hard to break those barriers down between yourselves and parents who almost refuse, like they refuse to let go of that. But watching your parents just showed me, and now hearing a bit more about, you know, your background, it's even like, I get goosebumps. It's even more proof to me that change is possible. That our parents can look at themselves and be like, actually, this is all nonsense, and our daughters are absolutely fine.
I think it took me, like, it was really hard for me to put those boundaries in, because like I love my mum with every like bone in my body, and I knew it would upset her when I moved out. I knew it would upset her. Like, I told her from a really young age, like, don't expect me to date an Albanian. Like, and I don't mean that like I would never. I just meant the mentality that I've seen from Albanians. I don't want that for myself. And putting those boundaries in place with my mum and dad was really difficult, because they were like, they didn't understand. They were like, you just don't love us, or you know,
you hate the culture, you hate yourself. Like,
And I was like, that's so far from like the case. What I need is to teach you that I can love you and love myself, and this is what's right for me. In the same way that I was like, I will marry for me, not for you, mum and dad. I want to marry for you guys so much, and have a husband that you guys communicate with, you know, really clearly. It will make their lives easier. Will it make mine? Probably not. So I don't know. For me, it took a long time, but eventually I showed up. I would cook pita with my mom day in, day out. I still do the tea. I still do, like, it has met everything. Every time I go, if there's musafir, I'm doing all the cooking, all the cleaning. Like, I still play that part for them, because I know it helps my mom, and obviously she's a bit older now, and I now want to. But it's not forced upon me anymore.
It's a choice that you're making, and that's the difference, isn't it, really?
That's the main difference. I know sometimes it's really hard to actually jump into a TV show like Love is Blind. It can be really scary. But throughout the whole journey, while you were there in the pods, actually out in Manchester and in Cyprus, and then actually living with Jed and the reunion, all of that, what were the things that you actually realised about yourself or learned about yourself? And did you realise that you wanted different things when you came out of it than when you went in?
I think I still want the same things that I did when I went in. What did I realise about myself? I think I've got a really strong head on my shoulders, and I think I'm really, like, quick to see things. Like, I am, as much as I'm outspoken and I'm out there, a lot of the time I'll sit back and I'm like, do your actions correlate with your words? Let me see how you prove what you are saying, and if you're going to, or if it's just sweet words. And I think I learned that I was really switched on in that moment, and I think you can really tell people's hearts when you spend so much time with somebody. And I'm not going to take anything away from my process. I had an amazing journey. He was amazing from the pods in Cyprus, in Manchester, all the way up until the wedding. Like, that's why it's so hard for there to be any scenes of him being, you know, other than nothing but amazing to me, because he was. He really was. And it made my journey like a fairy tale. I genuinely was like, I can't believe my luck. Like, I found my person. So I won't take away from that. I'll always have those memories. But I have learnt that, and I knew a little bit beforehand, it's just I would have probably looked over certain things or brushed things under the carpet. And now I'm like, okay, I see, like, you can give me all the sweet talk you want, but if you're not doing anything, if you're not like taking action, like, you can be asked out on a date and then they're like, oh, what do you fancy doing? No, I've booked this, I'm picking you up at this time, let's go. Like, actions
lead
are so,
lead
and I will happily allow you to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you did on the show is like an actual shining example. That sounds so cliche, but that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to walk away. You don't have to stay. And this is, again, nothing what I'm saying is anything to do with Jed. This is for all women, especially in particular women in our community, that you don't have to stay and suffer 1 ounce of anything that's unpleasant. That putting yourself, your happiness and your safety and all of that first that's it. That should be your baseline. It shouldn't be, you know, like I said, he's under pressure and things like that. But I know when my partner's under pressure, she doesn't act like that.
Same.
She doesn't take it out on me. There'll be open communication. I'm stressed. I need a little bit more support. Right. And again, it just goes back to that proof that behavior is a choice, and it's okay. It's absolutely, it's more than okay. I think it's paramount, and it's life-saving for women to just say no.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's like that's a blanket statement I'm making for all women, but in particular women in our community.
I think, obviously, I've only known this person for 6 weeks. So usually that would always be my stance, like, can we talk through this? How do we overcome this together? It's us against the world, not us against each other. And I think because I was also, you know, very emotional, I was very in love in that moment and so confused by what I'd seen that I was just like, there's no way that's him. Like, I've spent 6 weeks continuously with him, and that's what I did. And I don't regret trying either, because if I hadn't tried, I would have kicked myself and wondered what if. So I wanted to exhaust sort of as many opportunities as I could to make it work, because I genuinely believe that, you know, this isn't a normal situation. You're on reality TV show it's not a normal pressure. You're literally cooking the pressure for like 6 weeks continuously. So I do feel like I don't regret trying. Now that I'm not in a pressure cooker, I would not do that again. But yeah, you're definitely right. You don't have to stay.
Yeah, you don't. And it doesn't always have to be like wildly huge, violent, aggressive, abusive behaviour.
Yeah,
it can be just like you say, like, I actually didn't like the person that you were when times were tough. And that for me is enough to say, no, I'm walking away. And like, hats off to you. Like, I'm so proud that you did that, because there's going to be I mean, you've blown up all over. That's really clear. Like, as I said, like, genuinely you'll become the nation's sweetheart, and there's a reason for that, because other women have watched you, and women in our community have watched you, and they're like, wait, hang on a second, I can just say no. I don't have to, you know, suffer over and over and over again and just put up with bad behaviour. Like, I can just say no, and that's it. And I love that you did that. Yeah,
I've actually had like such an overwhelming amount of messages from Albanian, Kosovan girls, and they've all just been like, loads have been about my parents, which has been so nice. And they're just like, how did you get there? How can I get there with my parents? And then the other stuff is more like, you saw something and you chose yourself. I wish I could do that. It just made me feel like all the abuse that I've gotten online from strangers, and I said this to my dad the other day. I was like, cool. Oh my God. Like, I'm worried about all this abuse and all these comments. And then I was like, who cares? I don't know you. It doesn't matter.
Who cares? Like, they're literally, like, your life is so promising, and it's clear that you were ambitious anyway, but you have this amazing future ahead of you. Afrim is no one. Do you know what I mean? Like, is no one. And that's the attitude that we have with, you know, like, all the hateful and nasty comments that we get. We're just like, they're no one to us, you know, like they're absolutely no one to us.
And
because
the energy they put in that hate as well, like,
oh my God.
And they would never say that to your face.
No, of course not.
So it's like,
no, they wouldn't. And also, I think the reason why he probably received such a positive reception from Albanian women is because so many women would love to do it, but so many women feel like they can't.
Yeah.
And you've shown that you've got balls big enough to be like, I don't give a shit what anyone says, because it is hard. Like, it's hard to, like, it's okay, I don't know if hard is the right word, but it's not the easiest decision to make, to say, I'm going to put myself in front of the camera on national TV, go on podcasts, go on interviews, and do this as a woman from our community. Like, it's not easy to even, like, you know, the things that we talk about, because so many times, like, you guys hate yourselves, you hate the culture. It's like, no, we love ourselves and we love our culture, and that's why we do what we do.
That's why we speak up. We love our Albanian women, just like just like me and Lejla have such a sister, really close relationship. I feel the same about all Albanian women, because that's, you know, I am loyal to them
together.
But it's like, not just Albanian women, it's all women.
All women,
But with that said, what was going through your mind when you were approached about the show and you said yes?
So actually, funny story, my best friend, Anita, she sent me the casting thing on Instagram and was like, if you will, I will. And I was like, okay.
Not thinking anything.
I just didn't think anything of it. And so we both feel like they were such a long form. I literally just did like the bare minimum. And they're like, send a video. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. It's my name, my number, my email, and my Instagram. And I got a call within like half an hour.
Wow. No way, wow.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, so then I had like a conversation for like half an hour on the phone. And they were like, oh my God, we love you. Like, your Instagram is great. Like, you're a strong woman. Like, would you be up for like the next round of interviews? And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So then I called my best friend. I was like, did you get the call? And she was like, no. I was like, oh, same. Like, me neither.
That's not awkward at all.
But then, funny story, as I went through like my, you know, vetting process, Anita met someone.
Oh.
And so this was like July last year, so literally just over a year ago. She's now married with a child.
Wow. Congratulations, Anita.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm going to see her next week. I'm flying out to... She's also moved to Greece with him, so I'm flying out to Greece to see her next week. But like, we both went, because we were both like, we're so ready to like start a family, be mums, and let's do it together. And like, she got that, and I couldn't
that was
be
her
happier
kismet,
for
isn't
her.
it? Yeah.
Exactly. But also, she got to pick her guy. She wasn't like... 15 people, it must be one of them. Like, and her husband is also my best friend. Like, they are so amazing together. Like you said, it makes me hate him because it proves that there are good men, like supportive men who are so loving, and they're so perfect together. And I'm so excited to meet my nephew now.
Oh, that's stop it. Congratulations, Anita.
I'm so happy for them, honestly. But that's how I actually applied.
Yeah. But was there any like trepidation in you saying yes, and like, or like, you know, the lead up to actually filming and having to keep it a secret for a whole year?
Well, I didn't know I was going to have to keep it secret to begin with, because they don't really tell you the process until you're like fully confirmed.
Got it, yeah.
And I just had to I was like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I just continue? I also felt like in my career, I'd kind of achieved everything that I wanted to. So I was like, I need to like do something different. I also planned to go to Dubai before I even like accepted the show. And then I was like, I'll just like delay Dubai, and why not? Like, what have I got to lose? Student.
No.
According to Kosovo.
To
Kosovans, not to myself. But it was more like, I know there's going to be loads of backlash. Do I think I can handle it? The chances of me finding someone are probably pretty low. I'll probably just be one of the pod people in the background, and no harm, no foul. Obviously, my story went very differently. And I thought I'd found my husband, so I was like, I'm glad I did this because it was all worth it. I've got my guy. Obviously, then I went through a roller coaster. And then obviously when things didn't work out, I was just like, okay, I need to prepare for the worst. The backlash is going to be terrible. I said no to, obviously, a good guy whatever comes across on camera. And, you know, I know that the Kosovans are not going to be okay with me even being on this. And I've had a lot of, like, if you were really Kosovan, they'd never let you. And I was just like...
Oh my goodness.
I'm a 32-year-old woman. Like, if I should still be asking for permission, I think there's something wrong with you.
It's so boring. It's so boring.
It's crazy.
It's so boring. It's like it's not a competition. Like, it's okay. We can all exist.
Just projecting.
Yeah, we can all exist.
Yeah, so it was really hard to make that. In the end, I always do like pros and cons lists for what, like, big decisions. And do you know what? There were more pros than cons. I've got like the most amazing friends from the show. Yeah. The experience itself was so beautiful. Like, and I feel really lucky that I got to go through that. You know, not everyone does. So I feel really like thankful that I was chosen.
I've got questions, but not for the pod.
Oh, damn. Me and Leo always, like, we flirt with the idea of doing like an Trime after dark. Yeah.
Ooh,
or like a members only type of thing where we can have like...
Oh my God, that's such a good idea.
Right? Where we could have those discussions.
Yeah, those kind of discussions.
Now that this chapter is done and everybody loves you, that's very clear. What's next for Bardha?
What's next? I don't know, like 100%. I don't have a plan. I'll be completely honest. I've spent the last 10 months in Dubai and I've been doing a lot of freelance marketing and just working with like photographers and videographers for other companies. So I think, fingers crossed, I will be doing that full time and just working freelance for other companies. I really enjoy marketing. I really love like building people's vision and bringing it to life. And I think I'm now a bit happier to move away from the car stuff and just do marketing elsewhere. And I think like Dubai's the best place to do it. Yeah. I love being in the sun, as you can tell. I spend a lot of my time sunbathing. But yeah, I just want to keep building, keep achieving, and hopefully, meet someone along the way. Yeah.
If there was one piece of advice that you would give to other Albanian Kosovan women, what would it be?
I don't know how well this is going to come out, but I promise you the short amount of struggle that you will face being yourself is worth it. It's so worth it. And I would do it over and over again if I had to.
That's it.
That's amazing.
You heard it here.
Bardha, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You've honoured us.
Yeah,
you've honoured us so much. You've honoured us so much. We've been waiting. I've been shaking for this. And I'm so happy that it was like the day before I go on holiday because I was going to miss it. And I was like, I'm so glad. Yeah. So we're so happy to just have you here, but also be in your presence. You've got such a strong head on your shoulders. Not kind of a strong head, but a really strong head. I, for one, I'm so happy that you said no at the altar. I will not lie to you. I'm so happy. Not anything against anyone, but you are made for a different kind of man. Inshallah.
Inshallah.